Gears here, we're going to talk about the weather because, as you know, it's been hot. It's going to be hot for a while. But I mean, it's coming to an end relative to what we know now, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of a step back. We've seen a lot of hundreds lately. It's been the hottest stretch of the year that we've had so far. It's been very sunny, very dry. Our Lucky Star Sky Cam networks look gorgeous. I mean, if you like blue sky, then that's all we've really had over the last few days all across the region, which is awesome and great in its own right, but a little bit less awesome when you factor in how hot it has been, and that's because the heat dome is right on top of us. There's a little strip of very high, thin clouds from northwest Oklahoma to southwest Oklahoma, but it doesn't expand that far. The most we'll see today is some very high, thin clouds. With that heat dome on top of us, we're not going to get a lot of vertical motion in our cloud cover, and we're not going to get enough vertical motion to get rain. We've been seeing our above average number tick down slowly but surely as we've gone through the month, as we've still only seen just over 3/4 of an inch of rainfall here in Oklahoma City. So we went from a very, very wet July to a much drier August, as we have truly seen a heat dome. We've been talking about it all summer long. Anytime we get a ridge, we say heat dome because it heats us up. But this one is the truest form of heat dome. It's kept all the rain at bay. It's kept our highs very hot. There's some tropical rain that's going to surge into the Rockies with what was once a tropical storm that made landfall yesterday in Texas. It's going to zip around that area of high pressure. We're going to stay hot all the way into the weekend. Sunday is going to be hot too, but late Sunday, after Sunday afternoon, cold front comes into play. Isolated rain chances make a show, and we also get a little bit cooler air for Monday and Tuesday. Even Wednesday on the 9-day looks cooler, and you're going to notice some of these pinks showing back up toward the end of this right here. The heat dome is going to be back into effect, a little bit drier through the middle of next week, but it's not going to be nearly as strong as what we've seen lately, and most of the heat will be west and north of us. It'll arc around it and not be right over our heads, so that's nice. So next Monday and Tuesday, here's what I'm looking at. Could be in the 70s for highs, far into the panhandle. Most of the state sees a nice break into the 80s. Could only be upper 80s, but still, that's a break from what we've seen nonetheless. And then areas along southern Oklahoma, just down into the 90s, so not quite as much of a cool down south, but still something nicer than what we've seen lately. A large area of the United States, again, in our excessive heat warnings, heat indices 110 to 130 for a good chunk of the upper Midwest, and that does all the way extend to the Gulf of Mexico. So some very high humidity values, some of which creep into Oklahoma. Our max heat indices in eastern Oklahoma today will be 108 to 117. Central Oklahoma in the metro, 105 to 110. So still very humid, still very hot. Would make for a very sweaty walkout at Scissortail Park this afternoon. 94 current air temperature out there. And elsewhere around the metro, mid-90s is what we've been experiencing, and we'll eventually climb to just about 100. It's pushing 100 right now in Ardmore at 98, but you notice today not exactly as hot as the last couple of afternoons. That's nice for us, but we will see our temperatures increase as our humidity is now back into the 60s. Our dew point right there, 69 Oklahoma City, but where we have those upper 70s dew points is where it's really starting to feel pretty gross this afternoon. 105 to 110 in eastern Oklahoma. Feels like the low triple digits across the metro right now. The wind out of the south feels a little bit nice when it's able to pick up 10 to 15 miles per hour, but it won't pick up much faster than that. We hit 100 this afternoon in Oklahoma City. Low 100s across the north. Some of us just into the upper 90s, but overall still another very hot afternoon. More 70s tomorrow morning for the start of our day, and more triple-digit heat as we go through tomorrow afternoon and Friday afternoon, with Friday afternoon's wind being more southwest, a little bit drier, allows us to heat up just a little bit more. So we're holding on to the 100s at least through Saturday, potentially through Sunday, but then comes the front, isolated rain chances, and a couple cooler days ahead on the 9-day. That's all I got, Colby. I'll send it back to you.
That can't